the young people. So you may want to kind of go back and forth. Yeah, I was lucky enough to be on Broadway after, putting in years and years of being in regional theater and teaching at the same time. I've always taught and performed at the same time. I was in the production of Company on Broadway, where we played all the musical instruments as well as doing all the singing and the acting. It was a great experience. And I teach at the University of Hartford, so I'm teaching all those kids, as well as in my home studio, which actually all three of the people who are going to be speaking to you, two of them still are, and Sienna also had studied with me. So I kind of fell into founding a theater company, which seems weird, but I could see kind of change on the horizon in a lot of those places that I had worked for, including Broadway. And I just really thought this thing that I think is so important, especially for young people, theater and singing, it teaches so much other than even just to be little Broadways, and you're going to hear from these people. I want to give you a little bit more information about each one of them. They're really going to do the presenting, because that's what New Paradigm Theater is about, creating young leaders. Sienna, raise your hand, Sienna, again, so they see you. She is, like she said, she's a senior at Joe Barlow in Reading, and she has been with New Paradigm Theater since our very first show that we produced. We were founded in 2012, but we produced our first big main stage show, Oliver, in 2016. So she was just, Sienna, how old were you when you first started with, were you like 10?
I think I was probably 10. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's been on the youth board since she turned 13. We have an adult and a youth board, and she's held the position of secretary for a bunch of years before she became, with Paul this year, the co-president. Now, just like a lot of our young people, she plans to become a doctor, not a theater person, which I encourage. And but she's going to use a lot of what she has learned through theater. And she's interned at the New England Institute for Clinical Research. She shadowed physicians in the Yale emergency room. She shadowed nurses at Danbury Hospital, and she's currently working towards her EMT certification, sorry. And even with all of this stuff that she is doing, Sienna is very dedicated to NPT and serving her community. She's president of the school's chapter of Best Buddies and is part of her town's national charity league, where she's put in over 500 hours of community service. And I can't wait for you to hear a little bit more from her. Then Amelie, raise your hand, Amelie. She is a senior at Stratford High School, and she's been involved with New Paradigm since her freshman year in school. She, as I said, takes voice lessons with me. She's performed in a few of our holiday shows, as well as Little Mermaid and Project Cabaret, which is very fun, multiple events like our benefit concerts that we do. She's worked with Wakeman Boys and Girls Club. You're going to hear a bit more from her. She's also currently one of the leads at Stratford High School in Little Women. So you should go out and see that for sure, coming up pretty soon. Amelie, what's the date on Little Women?
March 22nd and 23rd.
Great, at the high school.
30.
Great. You'll see another one of our young people. Lauren is playing Meg. Wait, not Meg. Joe. Amelie's playing Meg. Beth. There's a lot of girls in that show. All right, and then finally, Paul Litchfield. We used to call him Little Paul because Paul Bogave, who's a big Grammy and Emmy winner, was in Oliver with us. That was his first show, Little Paul's show. Well, Little Paul used to be little, and now he is super tall. I still call him Little Paul. He's a senior at Trumbull High School, and he's been a Stratford resident, as he told you, his whole life. He developed his love for theater at Stratford Academy, and he's continued. And I went to see him in Newsies and a couple other shows because he has been a student of mine since he was a little soprano, and now he's got this beautiful baritone tenor voice. He's continued with this passion through his whole life. He's currently the co-president of New Paradigm, and he's playing Aaron in the Trumbull High School production of Mean Girls. So a lot of them are their leads in their own musicals, and that's like I said, at Trumbull. He also plays guitar in his band called Sterling Road, which we featured in one of our holiday shows. And he's the director of a high school base fishing tournament league. I mean, this young man knows everything there is to know about fishing, no lie. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to let these young people kind of walk you through a little bit of why New Paradigm is called new. I ran into somebody the other day and they said, "Oh, you're doing so well with Paradigm Theater." I'm like, "New. The whole idea is a new way to approach theater and really connect it to the community." And honestly, when these young people speak at various events that we have, I'm just like, I'm blown away by their leadership skills. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to let them sort of talk you through um, this PowerPoint that is all about NPT. I'm going to play it so you can see it larger. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Point that is all about NPT. I'm going to play it so you can see it larger. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Great. I'm just going to hand it over to these young people. You don't have to spotlight me if you don't want to, but it doesn't matter because you're sort of looking at the screen now anyway.
All right, so we're going to start off. This is our mission statement right here, and this is really something that we pride ourselves on because we believe it is very different than a lot of other theater companies in the area. So the New Paradigm Theater Company is a 501c3 nonprofit theater promoting social responsibility and fostering creative problem solvers, leaders, and global citizens through theater arts, education, and productions. A lot of theater companies, if you read their mission statement, it is very specific. We want to put on productions. We want to put on great productions, explore life through stage. But this, it really focuses on that fostering problem solvers, leaders, and citizens through theater arts, education, and productions. You can look at, like how we were talking about Sienna before, how she wants to be a doctor. Right now, I'm kind of undecided, but I'm really kind of leaning towards the political science because of my recent experience in a class that I've had this year. We just won our state competition at Yale Law School, and we're going to DC for nationals in politics. So it's not something that I don't plan to try to pursue a career in Broadway. I don't saying to go out to Hollywood and try to be in film, but the skills that I've learned through MPT have just been so great, and it's through the theater arts that I've gained so much confidence, become comfortable to talk in front of people, become comfortable meeting new people, exploring new opportunities. And I've saw this a lot in my college interview process. I've had several interviews at Lafayette College and Davidson College, and they were all very impressed with just the way I present myself, how comfortable I am speaking with new people, and about my interests and passions. And I can absolutely attribute this to the work that New Paradigm Theater Company has done and my work since the 4th grade, being mentored by Kristen and others in the organization. And it's just been a great opportunity for me, and I'm very proud of our mission statement and the work that we do.
All right. So I agree with everything that Paul said. Or else I probably wouldn't be here, and I probably wouldn't be comfortable speaking to you because I am still somewhat shy, but I used to be very, very shy and would not talk louder than a whisper. But one thing that makes New Paradigm Theater so, so special is they partner with other nonprofits. And here, I'll just read for a second. It's each summer, the New Paradigm Theater Company partners with another nonprofit organization that reflects the theme of the summer's productions to raise money and awareness for issues and organizations surrounding the community. And our youth board members learn how to learn about and volunteer with those nonprofits. A great example of this that I always use when people ask what MPT is all about and what makes it so special is during our production in one of our summer shows of The Little Mermaid, we partnered with the Maritime Aquarium. And not only did we have the people from the aquarium presenting in the lobby, teaching about ocean sustainability, we were also selling not water bottles, plastic. We were fully dedicated to working with this nonprofit and helping ocean sustainability with everything we could. And the most special thing to me was that we did beach cleanups, and we took some of these materials and made props, and we made art out of something that was trash. We made art, and I think that's what this Arts Alliance is all about, making art. And we put it in the costumes. You'll see later, there's lots of slides about that. But also another example is Carousel. We worked with the Domestic Violence Crisis Center. And in Greece, we worked with the Boys and Girls Club. And those are just a few. The others Here are some more examples on the screen. There's the Connecticut Burns Care Foundation, Kids Helping Kids, Building One Community,
That was
and
West Side
many
Story.
more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, if I could jump in for one second just to talk, because there was one thing that was actually really special to me was that Burn Care Foundation. That was our partner for when we did Hunchback, and these nonprofits, we don't just work with them one time and then move on to the next show. These are a lot of times reoccurring partnerships over time. And this past fall, we went to their annual gala, which was actually at the Marriott Hotel. I think it's Trumbull or Stratford, right on that line near Holly Lane. And we went to their gala. We had our youth board perform on Under the Sea, and a few of our youth board members spoke at the gala in front of hundreds of trustees or donors, and it was a really great experience for all of us. And that was one of my favorite nonprofits. And because Hunchback was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, well before COVID, and just this past year we got together with them again and did something really special. So that was really great for me.
Yeah, so jumping in, we're a professional theater because we hire Broadway performers, but we also include, as you can see on the screen, up and comers, local adults, and youth. Like nothing, like everything we do, I've learned so much, and it's nothing like I've done before. Like just by performing alongside people with more experience than me, and there are so many aspects about performance and leadership and professionalism that I have learned, I'm constantly learning, and I will probably never stop learning. But NPT makes it so easy to be able to get these opportunities to perform and learn from these professionals. And I think our mission definitely needs to be spread more so that we can find people who are looking for exactly what we do. For example, we've worked with Ramon Nelson, who played Ren in last summer's production of Grease, who is now in the MJ musical on Broadway. And we've worked
That's
with
him
Randy
right
Kay. Sorry.
That's him right there. Sorry, I went ahead too soon.
Yeah, that's him right there. We've worked with Randy Kay. She's come in and taught a class, which still helps me a lot with like story writing, because I get writer's block a lot, and it still helps me. And this is a great way to also gain friends. I've met so many people because of NPT, and one of my closest friends, Jelena, who is a former intern for NPT, is still great friends with the wonderful actress Sydney Rose, who played Ariel in our production of The Little Mermaid. And not only do we get to perform with these professionals and up and comers and all in the summer productions, but we get to do like the holiday show with them, the annual gala, the concerts, and I think it is just so special, especially for youth, because I mean I know if I was super young and I got to do shows and learn from professionals and up and comers, I would never forget those experiences. So yeah.
All right. So, as we've mentioned before, all three of us here tonight are members of the New Paradigm Theater Company Youth Board. And I always say this is not just like a little like kind of like catchphrase, little like kind of like blingy board. This is a professional style board. We have committees. We conduct monthly meetings. We do tons of volunteering together. It's me and Sienna as the co-presidents. We have a vice president, we have a secretary, we have a head of marketing, a treasurer, a secretary, and everyone is in these committees, getting together, meeting, working on furthering our mission statement, volunteering in the community. As we can see in some of these, the bottom right corner, this was our nonprofit partner for Oliver. We were volunteering at soup kitchens in Bridgeport. We appeared on TV, as we can see right above there. Though in the top left corner, that was from the event at the Marriott Hotel for the Connecticut Burn Care Foundation. And I know I don't want to.
Sorry, Fall, but if you look at the dress in the middle, that is actually plastic bags. Speaking of the Ariel, and again, we made art out of trash and fully circling that mission. I just wanted to point that out as I was talking about that earlier.
Those were exactly my next words. And I was gonna say I don't want to speak for Kristen, but I know whenever that costume comes up, she always says that's her favorite costume that she's ever worn in a show. And I'm sure it will not be the last time that she wears it when performing something from Little Mermaid. So yes, the youth board has really been great for me. I remember one of the first things I did with the youth board is actually in Stratford on the Stratford Green in the farmers market. This was when I was actually a freshman. I organized us to go and sing at the farmers market and be the entertainment for a day. That was one of my first real memories of the youth board, and it's always something that I still remember because I've spent my whole life going to that farmers market when my mom was a vendor. And our youth board members are extremely nice, extremely welcoming, extremely professional, and have really been going on to do great things. Just two of our members last year, Charlie, who has been the president for the last 2 years, right now is a freshman at Dartmouth College. And then Cameron, who was our treasurer for the past few years, is a first-year freshman at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, in the Ross School of Business, which is an extremely prestigious and extremely competitive business school. And we are very proud of them. They are doing great, and they still both are in good contact with us. We have former alumni from years past, like Jimmy and others who haven't been on the youth board. Catherine, who has been great. She's Catherine Elf in our Christmas shows, if anyone has seen those. But all of these alumni will come back to our meetings. Catherine, for a few years, while she was studying in college and becoming a teacher for the deaf, she was the kind of did the oversight for the youth board. It was at all of our meetings. It was a huge help to us. So really, MPT is really kind of a life. It's people for their whole life. People will remember MPT and remember the the positive effects that it's given to them.
So if you recognize this space, Amelie.
Yes, this is Stratford High School space, which where Charlie and the Chocolate Factory this summer will be performing. It is my school. And I mean, I love this theater. The stage is big, it's comfortable to rehearse in, the theater is beautiful. And our shows, I think, do very, very well, but we don't know everything about the tech. So it is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is very exciting for New Paradigm Theater to come in and help us while they're getting ready for the Charlie and Chocolate Factory show. It also helps the school for further productions that we can better our own productions.
We're going to leave our professional lighting designer is going to leave the school with a lighting plot. They don't have a lighting plot for all this new beautiful equipment that they have. And our sound designer, same thing. So hopefully teach some of the kids how to actually work with that a little bit more, and the director.
Yeah, because our tech crew is pretty much all student ran. I mean, we have one professional come in and just like do mostly mic tech work, but we don't really use all of the equipment we have. So it's great. One of my favorite things about the theater is that we do have these practice rooms in the back. They can be used for storing props, extra rehearsing, warming up, and I think it really is just a great space. And I'm so glad.
And this is our first year to be Stratford High School. So
I hope more.
Yeah, we're excited too. Well, we're putting down some roots there. So.
All right, so this right here is Emmanuel Church in Weston. They have been one of our biggest supporters for years now, and we would not be able to be where we are right now if it wasn't for them. John and Desley Boys, are they the owners of the church?
No, they're a deacon. He's a deacon and has been a member for like 30, 40 years. So he came to see Peter Pan, actually came to see Oliver, and loved our mission so much that he said, you know, do you need a space to rehearse? And I said, yes.
Yes, because during the show of Oliver, which feels so long ago, in order to do rehearsals, we were church hopping every week. We were at a different church in the area. One week we were at a church in Bridgeport, in a basement one time. The next week would be somewhere else, and that's not sustainable. And with COVID, a lot of other theater companies had spaces, and a lot of people would always ask us, why don't we have like a MPT actual stage, an MPT space? Well, it was a great example that is during COVID, a lot of theater companies had a very difficult time because they had these spaces, and they had a mortgage. We didn't. We had an amazing place like Emmanuel to rehearse. They're so gracious to us. They always have us, and in return, we sing at their events in the summer. So a lot of our youth will go and sing at their services and give
I think
back.
all
So
three of you have. I think all three of you
I,
have sung.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
all
still
three of us
remember.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. And adding on that, Emmanuel is just such a great space too. We have our galas there as well. And like Paul said, I don't want to just be repeating, but they're always very supportive, and it's kind of given us somewhat of a home space.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So not only do we just partner with specific nonprofits, but we also just help out wherever we can. During Footloose, we got over 600 pairs of shoes. And although we had a different main nonprofit partner, we donated these shoes to Souls for Souls. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess you're going to see more examples, but this really shows like we try and help as much as possible. It's not just one and done and check mark and
And this young
next.
lady is also a Stratford resident. She goes to Stratford, or at least she goes to Stratford High School, Julia. So
So I know I said that the Connecticut Burn Care Foundation was one of my favorite nonprofits in combination also with the Maritime, which we will get to later. But another one of my biggest memories of MPT was this dance-a-thon with Healing Hearts. This was, again, during Footloose, which obviously is a big dancing show. It's all about dancing. So we had a dance-a-thon with a company called Healing Hearts with people who are whether
special
mentally
needs.
or
Mhm.
yes, people with special needs, mentally or physically disabled. And it was an amazing time. It was such a fun night meeting all these new people. And I actually still am, wait, where is he? I'm trying to find, I
Yeah,
am in the top left corner of the
Mhm.
bottom picture. I look
Mhm.
a lot younger there, but the person right in front of me in the red shirt, I actually still am in contact with him. We exchanged numbers that night, and every couple months we check in. Sometimes we have a little call. He's in his early 20s right now, and we're still good friends. And it's just one of these connections I never would have made if it wasn't for MPT, and something that it was just really really special for me. Something that I'll always cherish, and I think all of us know that we did a great thing during Footloose, partnering with these nonprofits, and this was just such a fun night, and I always really enjoy it and wish we could do it again.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of my favorite events that we took part in, and I would definitely do something like it again. I just so basically we partnered with Kids Helping Kids, and so this event was to help people who couldn't afford expensive things, like to be able to get dresses for prom maybe and makeup. And I remember spending hours sorting the makeup and seeing
Mhm.
people as they walk in and out with smiles on their faces, and the true joy of being able to give people something that isn't easy to get for them. A lot of youth board members came out to help with this event, and I remember I was super new with the youth board when this event took place, and standing behind a table. So I stood behind a table with a former youth board member, Marlena, and I got to know more um, about her, and we got to bond a little more,
Mhm.
as I did not know like pretty much any of them besides Paul and Lauren Ironman,
Mhm.
who is the co-marketing along with me. Um, and yeah, I mean, I would really, really help out with this again. It was so fun to see all the people leaving with dresses in their hands or makeup, and just it was really great. And the Kids Helping Kids nonprofit was they were all super kind.
Mhm. And leaders, which was great.
So I alluded to this a little bit earlier, and Sienna talked a little bit earlier. But this was one of our biggest collaborations. Anyone in the area of Fairfield County and in Connecticut knows about the Maritime Aquarium. I've spent my entire life going to the Maritime Aquarium with my grandfather, and when we did Little Mermaid, we really got excited because we knew we were possibly gonna have a shot, and we were going to reach out to the Maritime. This is really our first extremely big organization that we really wanted to partner with. And I actually attended the original meeting that was at the Maritime Aquarium in one of their conference rooms with Kristen, Scott Bryce, and a bunch of other board members, along with the Maritime Aquarium's board of directors. And it was the original meeting. We brought them through a slideshow very similar to this, and they were just absolutely all over the idea. They really loved what we do. They were very impressed with our mission and what we do for education, because the Maritime Aquarium does a lot of stuff with education and with young people, and it was just a perfect match. So we did beach cleanups. We went to the aquarium and did sing-alongs with a ton of different kids. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the top left and the top right that's pictures from the original meeting, and then down below, this is when you went to the aquarium and sang. You can see our prince and all of our Mer sisters, and it was really great experience. And then in the show, I actually, when we did the show at put on the production in August, I actually made a lobby display with a fish tank and different types of trash and a bunch of slideshows to highlight the effects of trash in our ecosystem. And this was a really special. It was an entire summer of work with young people. You can see in these pictures, it's just so amazing, all the people who came out to support Little Mermaid, and it was so much fun. And this is always one of the my favorite MPT moments.
And on the far left there in the middle is our Ariel. And she was a senior at the Hart School, and now she's out of school and working professionally. So we always like to launch people like that. She was a great role model. This is one of my favorite. If you look in, you can kind of see what King Triton's throne is made of. Those are all Starbucks cups. And Sienna, tell them what you're in. We did a fashion show too during our gala of all of our trash items, costumes and so forth.
Yeah, I promise I was happy there. That photo makes me look a little sad. I promise I had a good time. I was just looking to the side. I was looking for my mom in that photo. But we made a little fashion show for our gala. Every year we do a gala to kind of launch our summer production in the summer season and get everyone excited. And here we had, well, I'm sporting a very fashionable jellyfish, which is actually an old umbrella that we found, and plastic bags. And there were many other costumes, I think, a bunch of other jellyfish.
Made by Laurelton Hall. That
Yes.
school helped us out with those.
And I think there were some fish as well.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. But it was very fun. And yeah, I'll let whoever who goes next to go. But
Well,
I just wanted to say that it was amazing and we had fun.
and you can see Amelie in this picture. By the way, these were wonderful photos, are taken by Megan McCool. And I always recommend her to everyone. But you can see she doesn't just catch the photo. I got to plug her a little bit. It's the emotion that she always captures so well, such an artistic eye. And you can see that the Mer sisters there, they got to choose their own color. Our costume designer's professional. She also is the main costume designer at Iverton. And then everybody got to create, after they chose their color, they got to create out of recycled materials their own embellishments, their own crowns, their own whatever. So I thought that was lovely. We had workshops about that. You can see I'm played Ursula there, but no, that's not why that's in there. It's the black plastic bag dress, which, yes, has already, Paul, gotten a lot of use since then at Halloween and various other times. But it was so fun just to have, actually, Liz Litchfield helped build that, as well as one of our other mothers with the costume designer. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Those tentacles are made out of old, oh, what were those, Liz? Those were, I think they were like disco kind of things. as were the arm things. Sorry, I arm things. That's how artistically I am about all that. This is my favorite set piece ever. This is Ariel's Grotto. And this definitely has trash that we collected in all those trash cleanups. And you can look over to the far left and the little yellow and blue object. When and our young people attended workshops to help build these with the set designer, and they're going to do that again this year. And the mom and the son were gluing that yellow and blue object onto it. And if you can see, it's a cassette tape. And she asked her son, who's was 13, do you know what that is? He did not know. So that made me feel pretty old. But you can see on the right there, those anemones are all toilet paper. And our set designer, we went over to the school in Norwalk, and she led classes on, and all the children helped to make those. So it was definitely a collaborative effort. And then they went in, our set designer and the Maritime went in and talked to the children about marine debris and how important it is for us to take care of the oceans and so forth. So that was a long educational day, which had lovely things to contribute.
All right, so our most recent production was Music Man, which we just did. That was a collaboration with the Norwalk Symphony Orchestra, this is actually one of my favorite theater productions, because while I did Oliver and Peter Pan, I haven't been involved in the big summer productions because of other commitments during the summer, but I've been in every single show that we've done in collaboration with the Norwalk Symphony. It's an amazing experience. I mean, if you look in the bottom right corner, that's, I believe it's a 35-piece orchestra that we sing in front of, and Kristen and our maestro go into the city months before and audition Broadway professionals and professional actors and singers. The talent that we bring in for the show is just absolutely incredible. And we can see in this picture, this is from Carousel, which we did last year. You can see all of a lot of our young people and community theater members and MPT combined with Broadway professionals. And the learning opportunities have been great. I'm in the bottom right corner with a black hat right there. So we did West Side Story, which was my first show with them. And then we did South Pacific, Carousel, and then we did Music Man, which is really fun because my actually first show that I've ever done was at Stratford Academy, 4th grade. I played Winthrop in Music Man, which is the little boy with a lisp. And then it was really fun being in Music Man now that I'm a senior in high school again, and doing a lot of the same songs and scenes that I remember doing all those years ago. And the Norwalk Symphony, we still every year partner with a nonprofit. This year we partnered again with Keys, who we had originally partnered with, I believe, in Peter Pan. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Again, a long time ago. So we stay in contact with these nonprofits, and they were in the final number where all the kids come out with Harold Hill in the band that he created in River City. And it was really great because I was also in the band. I have no idea how to play the trombone, absolutely no idea, but I was still able to get in there. And a few of the young kids who are part of Keys, which is they give music lesson opportunities to inner city kids who cannot afford music lessons. There was one, I think, an 8-year-old boy who was teaching me how to play the trombone backstage before he went on, and that was just so much fun. And it was really fun to learn and great to get along with people who maybe are a different age than me, come from different backgrounds than me, but we all share the same love in music, and they were able to teach me how to play the trombone that day. And that was just like one of those little moments that just really exemplifies what MPT is about.
This was a letter from our little girl who played Amaryllis. She is 12. But my favorite part, I always like getting thank you cards. So I tried to teach all of our kids to write actual thank you cards. She said that she got the most out of watching and learning what the best ways to take direction were. I got this by not only experiencing it, but by watching the professionals work. And that, to me, that's the reason that we do this, because when in your life, whatever job you choose, are you not going to have to learn how to take direction? Are you not going to have to follow somebody's lead and be respectful about it? And our pros, a lot of them, they're also teachers. They may be Broadway pros and so forth, but so many of us teach as well. And they really did reach out and help our young people a lot. This was Greece. Just you can see how involved all of our kids are. We hired the Danny from New York and Sandy, and then a couple other young people in the area. You can see there's quite a few Stratford kids actually in this. So that was fun. And our partner for this was, who was our partner? Wakeman Boys and Girls Club, which made complete sense as well for this. And we will be featuring a lot of these young people in our upcoming production. You can see the girl in the pink wig there is also a Stratford senior. She is the one I was talking about that's playing Jo in Little Women. We have young people, 8 to 11-year-olds, and they have their own little camp, and then they plug into the big show with the teenagers and the adults. And that's the little beauty school dropouts. Totally adorable. And so they got to be that and also cheerleaders. And I've seen so many of these kids just grow in confidence. That's just the big payoff for me. The one that's playing the guitar there, I swear to you, for the first 2 years he was in our shows, had his shoulders rolled forward and was kind of quiet and just And now he just like blew the doors off of everybody in Greece. It was really fun to see that happening.
Yeah, we all love Creflo. This
Yeah.
was Greece was such a great show, and I think this was one of the greatest examples of just how all of our professionals work well with the kids. Being backstage, there was no big disconnect between the people who were brought in from New York and the people who may have been their first or second show. It was just one community. And if you can see, I was actually not in the show, but as a guitarist, I saw this and was offered an amazing opportunity to sit behind Max, who is, I am looking right at the camera in the top right, and then Max is right there to my right, who is the greatest guitarist I have ever been around. He is absolutely incredible. Right now he's playing on a cruise ship for like I think 6 months, because when I work at Trader Joe's and I'm with his sister, so I work with his sister, so I get a lot of his updates about his playing all around the world. So
and he's coming back to play with us. He just signed his contract for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
All right. So this was and I love playing guitar. I'm in a band, but I am by no means a professional, and I didn't know how to read sheet music. I did not know a lot of scales. I didn't know a lot of warm-ups, and he was just beyond helpful to me. He had pieces, no paper, writing out sheets with all these different warm-up scales that I should do when I'm getting ready to play, teaching me all these doing songs. I would always joke around that I would always mention a song that I'm trying to learn. He'd instantly pick up the guitar and just play it absolutely flawlessly. But he was just a great guy, and I learned a ton from him and all the other musicians, and getting to work with all these professionals in a new setting in the music and actual instrumental setting for the first time with MPT
And with Chris
was
Coogan
great.
as our music
Oh
director.
yes, Chris Coogan, our music director. He's playing piano up there in the top left. And now there's Creflo, Nick, and our I forgot what his name was on the far left.
If I could just interrupt for a minute, I think we need to open this up to questions because we are at time right now.
Okay,
But thank you.
let me speed quickly through, just so you know, we have our Charlie and the Chocolate Factory coming up this summer. We are taking registrations for 8 to 11-year-olds and 12 to 18-year-olds. So that's something you can go on our site. One of our partners already is Rise to Read and the Stratford Library, and probably the Dolly Parton group literacy that works with the library as well. As the kids told you, they are involved in a lot of things that we do, education outreach. We also have our gala coming up. This is going to be a super fun, could be a girls' night out, everybody, and guys' night out. Pure imagination. It's wine and chocolate pairings. And then the performances will be some Broadway stars based off of pure imagination. We would love to see you all there. Again, Liz Litchfield handles our silent auction. And it's a wonderful event. It's very inexpensive, but you're going to get great wine. And this is what we have coming up in Stratford really soon. Again, partnering with the Stratford Library, and you're going to see some good events there. Stratford Rotary, Don Montuano is going to be the president this year, and he's one of our big volunteers. Stratford Academy, we're going to be there all day on March 28th, and we're doing triple threat workshops for them all day for each one of the grades. So we'll do singing, dancing, and acting with them because so much of the arts has been cut. We're going to be working with the Stratford Senior Center to bring some fun stuff to them. And then, as you saw, we're going to be producing our show at Stratford High School. So that was it. Sorry, guys, I sped through the rest of that, but I want to make sure that we got there. Thank you to Sienna and Paul and Amelie for presenting like pros.
Thank